It is a pleasure that I welcome all of you on behalf of the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, MoFi, to the maiden Public Wealth Management Conference. I thought I'll hear a round of applause for that. With the theme, Championing Nigeria's Economic Prosperity.
This conference marks a significant milestone in Nigeria's journey towards economic prosperity. We are gathered here today with a shared commitment to harnessing the tremendous potential of our public wealth and optimizing its value for the benefit of our nation and its people. The theme of this conference, Championing Nigeria's Economic Prosperity, resonates deeply with our vision for a prosperous and inclusive Nigeria.
Let me start by saying that we are not unmindful of the challenges that our nation is going through at the moment. We are conscious of the challenges with our macroeconomic climate. We are conscious about the shortage of food. We are conscious of the turbulent times we find ourselves with respect to our exchange rate and many other issues we're facing as a nation. We're very mindful of that. The Ministry of Finance Incorporated, MoFi, was established by an Act of Parliament in 1959. And the sole purpose of that was in recognition of the fact that government's role in policy making should be distinct and clear from its role as a regulator, and should also be distinct and clear from its role as a shareholder in commercial enterprises.
The reality is that we have engaged in major macroeconomic reforms on the fiscal side, and what I really is not my remit, which is the monetary side, and it has come at a price. And at this particular moment, the cost of food and the availability of food is uppermost. And I would just like to remind us and inform us, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has always said that he would not leave the poor, the vulnerable, the weaker in society behind at times like this. He has previously released strategic grain reserves. He is currently releasing 42,000 metric tons of food grains. He has a plan to release another 60,000 tons of food grains. And we expect food prices to stabilize and begin to fall in a reasonable period of time. And in the meantime, everything that can be done to put food in the market, to put food on the tables of people will be done no matter what it takes.
Most of the issues we have today, particularly on the fiscal side, has been the inability of MoFi incorporated companies to do the needful. Nigeria still has productivity at its lowest level. And I believe that in these days and time, which productivity counts in everything, even in agriculture, it is not what it used to be again. Today, the value chains and processing are very, very important. So it is very welcoming news to Nigerians that those companies, those corporate bodies that are going to help in making sure that the vision of renewed hope of Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to come alive are today emboldened to come up with increased capitalization in order to meet up Nigeria's need, particularly food security.
So what you're aiming for is to have a very sharp entity, MoFi, that will be seen, will not only be, but actually be seen by everybody as truly commercial, very focused, without any trouble on the road.
From my own private sector experience also, I can tell it's not about dreaming dreams, it's not about getting started, It's about execution, execution, execution. It's about consistency, consistency, consistency. It's about discipline. It's about thinking long term. It's about sound corporate governance practices. And looking at the caliber of leadership as we saw today when Dr. Armstrong was speaking, and knowing Dr. Shamsuddin, who was our boss before, I can tell that it's a matter of time. For the support of the President, the Vice President, and the Coordinating Minister of Economy. So I want to say to Mofi, let's stay consistent. Let's embrace sound corporate governance practices. Let's have strong commercial mindsets. Let's make sure that we think long term. And indeed, it is time we got our public assets to work for Nigerians.
The mandate and restructuring of the Ministry of Finance Incorporated MoFi represents a new chapter focused on harnessing our public wealth more strategically for growth and optimization. MoFi's role as custodian and active manager of the investments of the federal government now places it at the epicenter of our economic development agenda. MoFi is charged with bringing expertise, transparency, and accountability to help in the realization of prosperity for our nation. I am confident that public assets will now deliver significantly higher returns through improved corporate governance, innovative private partnerships, and by attracting alternative investment capital. Higher returns from public enterprises will provide crucial funding for education, healthcare, housing, power, roads, and other areas vital to lifting millions out of poverty. We will stimulate the various sectors for sustainable economic development while maximizing job creation for our youth.